witnessed the birth of a new worldwide religion in 2020. This is a religion, like all others, based entirely on faith. But, unlike the previous religions of Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, which all took from decades to centuries to develop, this new religion was founded, became entrenched around the world, and has claimed billions of parishioners in just a matter of months. This latest addition to the world religions, COVIDANITY, was spawned from the fear of COVID-19. Like most religions, COVIDANITY has a hierarchical structure. For example, where the Roman Catholic Church has its Pope, COVIDANITY has the Director General of the World Health Organization. Going down the chain of command from Director General of WHO, we have the bishops. They are not actually called bishops as they are in the Catholic Church. Rather, they are called CDC directors, or public health directors. Every country in the world has one of these types of directors, and every state in the U.S. does as well. These bishops direct the priests of COVIDANITY and keep them on message so the masses will have one uniform narrative. Through fear and uncertainty, the masses have elevated these CDC directors to almost godlike status. In Presque Isle, Maine, the Presque Isle Elks Club even went so far on its outdoor LED marquee sign to change the national motto "In God We Trust" to "In Dr. Shah We Trust," referencing Maine CDC Director Dr. Nirav Shah. The deacons of the COVID religion are its day-to-day managers. These are the state governors and countries' prime ministers and presidents. They get their marching orders from the bishops in their CDC and carry them out unquestioningly. Since the CDC bishops, by and large, have no formal training in economics or group dynamics, their only frame of reference being disease and epidemiology, horribly bad decisions on their economies were made by them and carried out by the deacons with disastrous results. These decisions, of course, were the, quote, lockdowns of all businesses and the entire global economy under the article of faith that somehow they would stop the scary coronavirus. They didn't. All successful religions need their priests at the ground level to deliver the religious narrative and keep the followers on message. The priests of COVIDANITY are the establishment corporate media syndicate. They parrot the edicts from on high as proclaimed from the WHO Pope, the bishops in the CDC, and the deacons/governors. The message is generally one of fear and uncertainty for a person's life and continued well-being. Fear has always been an efficient motivator in religions. Fear of death, fear of burning in hell, fear of eternal retribution, and now, fear of dying from the coronavirus of the new COVID religion. Like nearly all other religious beliefs, there will be a certain group of people who do not believe or follow the dogma of the new religion. Today, the COVID religion has a great deal of heretics who don't believe the establishment narrative. Ironically, these heretics are able to use scientific documents and medical reports direct from their own country's CDC to show that the COVID religious beliefs are a sham, a con, a shell game. But a religious faith is hard to break within the masses, despite the voluminous amounts of evidence presented to them from their own church leadership within the CDC. This information is clouded in mystery and labeled conspiracy theory by the priests in the corporate media in order to keep the COVIDians in line and on message. Dissent is not tolerated in the COVID religion. Just as the Christian literalists burned the books and other writings of their Gnostic opponents, today's high priests of COVID, in charge of online social media platforms where the religious followers of COVIDanity get their information, also delete and figuratively burn any message from the COVID heretics that does not comply with the establishment media narrative, even if that contrary message is based on information from on high, right out of the Holy of Holies within the CDC. All great religions have an iconic symbol for their followers to rally around and use to identify themselves. Hinduism has the Om, Judaism has the Star of David, Christianity the cross, Islam the crescent moon and star, and finally, COVIDanity has the face mask. Face masks are being worn by the adherents of the COVID religion today, more for psychological comfort and to identify themselves as COVIDians, just as Christians wear cross jewelry and Jews display the Star of David. These face masks are only being worn for identification with the COVID religion. Most religious beliefs have a list of commandments for their followers to adhere to in order to stay in the good graces of the congregation, church leadership, and ultimately their God. The Hindu had multiple gods to appease, so their commandments were very diverse. The Jews have 613 laws to follow in their Torah, but 10 of them surface to the top in the Christian religion. COVIDanity also has developed a list of commandments. They are:
Thou shalt believe in COVID-19 with all your heart and mind. Thou shalt not believe any other narrative on COVID-19 than that espoused by the priests in the establishment media. Thou shalt wear a face mask at all times, forever, even if you're alone. Thou shalt social distance at 3 feet, 4.5 feet, or 6 feet, depending on the country you're in, while wearing a face mask. Thou shalt stay home at all times and submit to lockdowns unless you must get out for essential products or services. Thou shalt not meet in person in groups of more than 50 people. Thou shalt use Zoom or other online multimedia sources to conduct business meetings and educational classes. Thou shalt not use vitamins or minerals to enhance your immune system. Thou shalt not question the veracity of RT-PCR tests. Thou shalt accept all deaths certified as COVID-19 as if they actually were caused by COVID-19, even if they were not.
This is the state-sponsored religion of COVIDanity, which is a merger of religious and state powers. This will not be the first time a religious belief system used fear and intimidation, coupled with government power, to impose itself on the minds of society, and certainly won't be the last.